So I just got back from the junkyard, and we got our inline 6 frame stands or engine mount brackets. I got these. It looked like it was an '84 F-150, and luckily the engine, or they already took the transmission out of it and set it in the bench seat like they always do. And we just we got an engine hoist, and then undid the nuts, and then just hooked it up on the power steering bracket and just lifted the engine up and wedged it into the firewall, and then gave us room to work with the nuts. But we got the plates. I'm going to show you in a second. It only cost me like 17 bucks for the pair, but I'm going to get my shoes on and show you what we got here. So there we go. There's our frame stand. These were coated in like scunge, grime, and all kinds of stuff. So I cleaned those up with mass airflow sensor cleaner, and that actually worked a lot better than brake cleaner. And then this one here, cleaned that up real good. Cleaned the bolts up. I lost one bolt, but what I did is I kept the ones for the V8 mount that sat in the back there. I kept those bolts, so I just took the one and put it in that corner there, and they're exactly the same, so that worked out great. Ran them down with the impact because it was taking forever with the ratchet, so impact took care of that. Cleaned up the little rubber thing so that'll hold our starter wire. But yeah, there we go. And then, as I mentioned in the last video, we got those. You see the angle? It's like a 45-degree angle. And then you look at those, and that's a 45-degree angle. So yeah, all that will work together. Get that thing mounted in there. Okie dokie. We have a box. 34 bucks. Got us timing cover gasket and a front main seal. I got it in. Hopefully it doesn't leak. You have to... The instructions are so vague. But apparently you put this in here and then use a screwdriver to run that in? Or whatever it is. I put the seal in this way, took this, smashed it in there, and then put this back up here, and then just set it to the depth it needed to be. It's so stupid. And I don't even know where this goes. There's no... You put it in there. How does it fit on the crank? Oh, I'll find out here in a second. Okay, I'm putting the repair sleeve on. It's a tight fit, but I'll figure. Can you see? I'm using a non-framing hammer. I got this started with a piece of wood. Got on kind of cattywampus, so I've just been very carefully working it, and I got it back on straight. So I've been going around this thing and just kind of tapping it. Be very careful. You really just want to get it flush. Nice and flush. So theoretically our timing cover should go over this. Yeah, that took up a lot of play in that, so yeah, it's got a nice tight fit on that now. So I'm going to reinstall this little ring, and then what we're going to do is take our gasket, reinstall that. Do a quick wipe off here. Should be a nice halfway decent surface. I'm gonna just go with that, really. Get a bolt ready. Get a bolt there started. Another one started so our gasket will hold. Yeah. And then you're done. Careful doing that. This is definitely not going to be a how-to. This is a learning curve for me. Oh, that's a wrong hole. Wrong hole. Wrong hole. Come on. Stick it in the right hole for once, will you? Okay, I'm gonna put this back together off camera because it didn't really go how I wanted it to, and I'm scared. So sorry. There. Back to being an engine again. This is the belt that came with it. I showed the part number a few videos ago. Here it is. It's an 8K537 AC Delco. You can actually get this from AutoZone. You'll have to order it, but they sell them. They're like 20 bucks. This one here is still good. It looked like it was changed not too long ago. But you know what? It looks really good, so I'm gonna reuse it. The tensioner's not too bad. It's I don't know how new it is, but it's pretty tight. So we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna try not to tip over our Cummins. Look at this. I like to put the belt so that you can see the letters. You can read them without having to turn your head. There we go. I thought I was missing bolts, but I wasn't, so I got this all back together. This is snugged down. There really isn't a whole lot to get at that timing cover, so it's not that big of a deal if my seal job leaks. You can just pull that off in, you know, a half an hour and have it redone. But there you go. Front accessory cover is put back together. Okie dokie, I'm just a little bored waiting on the people to come pick their engine up. But did some not necessarily surfacing, but a little roughing up just so I can get some. There's just a layer of whatever on this thing, and just clean it up. Vacuumed it off, got some of the dust out of it. But I was getting a look at these heat cracks that I didn't notice before. And it looks like, I'm hoping, this one here I'm just worried about. But they look like they're just on the surface heat cracks. That's just from the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact a couple of machine shops. I'm going to see how much, or take this thing in and get a quote on resurfacing. I don't know how much they normally go. I've never had to take a clutch in and have it resurfaced, or a flywheel. But I think it'd be good to have it looked at. And, you know, if they feel, yeah, let's do it, you know, resurface it, see what it looks like after that. I'm hoping these cracks go away and we'll be able to put a new clutch on and have it last forever. There it is, all snugged back on there. Did a star pattern on that one, and same thing on the adapter. And I probably screwed myself because a bit tight of a fit, but sorry I can't take it off. I gotta take the thing off to get it resurfaced, but whatever. There's room for an extension. That was a lot of work watching them load that engine in their truck. I snuck a picture in of it getting all strapped down and everything. Guy picked it up in the red F-150. I was hoping it wasn't an S10. I was like, please. Got picked up in an F-150. It's like a 03 or something, I don't know. So, look around. I helped them load it up in freaking slippers. Yep, it's gone. I got the lift plate. So we went 500 on it, so I kept some stuff like starter wires. This one here used to be the ground wire on my truck, or with the gas engine. But this is a big honking freaking wire. So I put that on the starter, and then this will this is gonna go to come on side on the solenoid on the fender well. It's gonna not the switched power, but the hot all the time side. And then on the switched side is where I'm gonna have another thick wire come to this guy here. So when you turn the key on, the solenoid activates. It then goes into that solenoid and starts it. I did a quick little touch-up paint, nothing fancy. You can see spots, but this just kind of protects that one layer. It's a little bare. So as you can see, we have our mounts here. They're installed, and then that one there, we're gonna see if that needs to come out or not. Not exactly sure, but if it ends up clearing and there's room around it, I'm not even gonna touch it. So anyways, I think I'm gonna go run to AutoZone maybe and grab some stuff. Okie dokie. So engine hoist, need to get out of the way. Check this out. I want to spend about 80 bucks on stuff for this. Got a new fresh air filter just to keep dirt and stuff from getting out. This will be a temporary just for now, so that when we get it kind of running and driving, we would not have dirt get in there, but it'll have an actual thing for it. Plywood and everything's on there as you saw in the last few clips. That's there just to get it, you know, so it'll start and run. The motor mounts are on. We got fuel pump. I gotta make a little thing, another hose for the return, so it'll go back in the thing. I'm getting a new fuel can and just making it diesel only, so I'll get some diesel. And we got some oil. I wanted to get the Valvoline blue stuff, but they only had one jug, and I need two. This is the Dello 400 LE. This is for Cummins. This is just for now. We'll run the Chevron through. We're gonna put that new oil in tomorrow when we get our oil pan dealt with. So this is our new filter. This is for a 1990 5.9 Cummins, and this appears to be the same size. So what I did is I looked at this filter here, and it says the thread size is the same as this one, so we'll find out tomorrow when we take that filter out. But I mean, I don't know if I can get it in there. Look how much bigger it is. So we'll test fit that before we pre-fill it, that way I don't have to waste it and damage it out. But so that's that. Don't try this at home, kids. What I'm doing is dangerous. Let's see. What I want to do, let's wipe this up. I was going to grab a new drain plug and a gasket for this, but I couldn't find it. It says they had one, but apparently they don't. Oh well, we'll get another one on the next oil change. Let's see. Is it 11/16? Is that it? Looks like our guy. Get that kind of out of your way. A little bit of gasoline oil, so I don't want to burn those, and I'll hold need a breaker bar on this one. And the engine's trying to turn on me. There we go. Alright, there should be 10 quarts in this thing. Oh man. I'll probably put my new filter on now and just make sure it fits. I'll put it on loosely and remember to pre-fill it up or fill it before we start it. Oh, there's a magnet on it. Yeah! Freaking right. Freaking it's it's getting wow. It's kind of filling up there. It's halfway already. This is an interesting plug. I'm glad they put a big mouth on that thing so we can actually get some oil out of it. Smells like diesel. Yeah, this one needs a new plug and thing, but AutoZone doesn't have one, so this is gonna have to wait. So that's about half full. I'd say there's like 7 or 8 quarts in there. I might actually just run it with that air filter and just make a heat shield for it. There we go. Alright, you ready? You ready for it? We'll let dribble. Just a little bit. This thing hasn't been started up in a month, so all the oil that was in here probably just settled down in there. Yeah, so we'll need to crank this thing before we start it. We don't want that oil pump going to shit. Pardon my language. So, let's take a look at our new filter. Let's give it the kiss test. Yeah, the seals line up, the thread's right. There's our Bosch premium oil filter. This 3250 or 3520. This is what we're using. I bought it for a 90 Dodge. I believe they're pretty much the same. I'll put that on kind of loosely. I don't want it gets tightened down, it'd be like that. But I will take this back off and throw oil in it. For those of you. As I wait for the mailman or whoever to freaking bring me my freaking oil pan gasket, I'm going to start getting the pan off and start cleaning the old gasket off and make sure the surface of the block is clean and ready to go. I believe there's 5 million 10mm bolts on that, so there's 4 in the back there in between the bell housing adapter and the block, which will be interesting getting to. But I'll go ahead and just use an extension on those. There's plenty of room. And then there's just I think 4 or 5 of them in the front. And I've already drained the oil out of it. That's the oil that came out of the engine. There may be a little bit more now that it's been sitting. So there's probably like 50 bolts that hold that thing on there. I don't know. That was a lot of bolts. Every single one of them was coated in oil and they were kind of loose. But got freaking dirt on my arms. Look at the inside of the oil pan. It's not really sludgy. It's pretty clean. I really don't think there's a whole lot of miles on this thing. But I'll drain the rest of that out and just kind of wipe this thing down a little bit. But there's it. There's the inside of our Cummins. Look at that thing. Again, no play. That's good. So I got this scraped off real good. Went a lot easier than that stupid front cover. Oh yeah, here's a little tip. If you don't have an engine stand and you're gonna be a while, you know, this motor weighs about 800 pounds or close to it. It's about 740, but I just rounded off to 800 just because it's freaking heavy. It's as much weight as a C6 and 351 put together. But what I've done is I've just put a little bit of weight, just a tiny bit on the back, and just enough for this to flatten out on the thing. Just a little bit, but most of the weight is still on this. But in case this lift gives way, the engine will it'll just sit there. It won't fall over anything. It's got a nice level flat surface on the front there. But just be careful doing that. You don't want to put a whole lot of weight on your crankshaft. It may be able to take it, but just for safe measure, don't put a whole lot of weight on the front. I got the mounting surface, or gasket surface, cleaned up. I sanded it down so it's nice and flat and even. A lot of the paper gasket stuff's gone. And wiped it up really good in there. There was just a small layer of like just oil, like just a little bit of soot. You know, that's pretty common with diesel engines. You're just gonna find that in every single one of them. I'll pick my nose. Did dirt in my nose? Probably. I know I had dirt here from getting the stands for this thing. But, yeah, that pan's clean. I scraped a lot of the gunk off of it and just wiped it down. So, it still looks dirty, but it's not as bad. I'm actually more worried about the inside. I want that to be as clean as possible. You know, a lot of sanding, a lot of wiping down, and a lot of vacuuming. Vacuum it out. And, you know, minimize dirt in there. So I'm just waiting on USPS to bring me my gasket. It's supposed to be here today. That's what they said. So, well, I'm tired of waiting around, so I'm gonna go grab the transmission, get it in this thing, and we're gonna test fit it with everything on it. I'm gonna put the oil pan back on just for temporary. And I want to see how this thing will fit in there, and I might get lucky and I might just be able to, you know, put the gasket on the pan and get under there and just slide it in. Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out if I can pull the oil pan with it in the thing. I mean, it's gonna sit up a lot higher than the V8 did from the looks of it. So let's find out. I might get lucky here. I don't know. I at least want to see it in there. I have a feeling I might not get the gasket today, so if I can get it test fitted in there, that'd be sweet. Look at that. Check this out. I will be able to drop the oil pan down when I get in my gasket and pop it back in there. And you're not going to believe this. The C6 goes right back into its exact same spot. And then here's our firewall clearance with the valve covers. Clearance with that V8 stand. I gotta move it over a little bit and we'll see how that interferes. We might have to I might actually take the time and pop those rivets. I have an air chisel that might get them out, so that'll be something for next week if that hits. The C6 is off a little bit. I have to push it up and move it back over, but that's our anchor mount. Fits perfectly there. I had to crank it up on one side to get this one. And this one here, you'll find that you have to freaking cut the nut a little bit. You cut the nut and then, or not the nut, the shaft, the bolt. Trim it a little bit. Put your nut on all the way first, then trim it, and then it'll make it so it'll slide down in there. It's a bit of a tight fit. I probably scratched the valve cover back here. Right here, you might want to hammer in there, but not to worry about it. So, got this one ground. I'll go back up in there. This guy here. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna make that factory one work. Wow. So, our wire harness can reach. Okay, I found one of the first things we're gonna have to do to the engine to make our exhaust work. So here's the problem. This is how it's supposed to sit in the truck, and it pushes our exhaust or our turbo closer to our firewall there. And the little problem that we have is there's tight clearances. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the turbo. Yeah, we'll flip the manifold, sorry. That'll bring the turbo up and over here. So let's see, will that work? Actually, I think what we'll have to do, there's this heat shield right here. We're going to take that off, and then I think there's quite a bit of a lip here. I'll have that clearance, pound it back or something, and then we'll have to have a custom pipe made for that. Hey, Butler, come on. Son of a bitch. Come on. Let's go. Get in there. Okay, let's get back from work. I'm gonna try and get this motor started. I have one oil pan gasket from Cummins. David Mitchell, I don't know. Let's see, does this thing need air? Yes. I'm getting to work now. I have a headache. Okay, I tightened this side down, the little nut. This side here I have to fiddle with later and get the nut on there. I cut it and it's not necessarily wanting to go back on, so I have to figure that one out. I know we've fixed stuff like that before, so I'll figure that out in a moment. Right about. Oil pan gasket is in. Bit of some trickery there, but I got it done. All the bolts are tightened down all the way. There was no gasket material on the block. It was all nice and clean. I'm going to take the air filter off and get a piece of flat wood ready to go. And then we're just going to fill it up with oil. And I'm going to disconnect the power, this here. We'll see if our battery arcs. And we'll see if this thing will crank. We'll get this out of here. That's kind of scary, but whatever. I got to pre-fill the oil filter. Let me get this off here. So I'm going to take care of this stuff right now, and we'll give it a crank. Okay, we have fuel. We are disconnected from the thing. I am actually going to see if I can prime this a little bit. Okay, we got fuel coming out of the return. Oh yeah, we do want to hook that up. Let's see, where's that return line I put together? Okay, we have a return line. I got fuel coming up through there and it started shooting into the return line. So I'll just prime it just a little bit more. That'll be good. I'm gonna wipe my hands off. Go get our battery. Yes, I know, there's no coolant. I'm not gonna run it for very long. Not until next week when we flush the whole system out. Let's see if it'll crank. I'm getting nervous right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. I had oil pressure. Block of wood ready. My wiring, I'm a genius. It's alive! Oh, she is diesely. I'm gonna run it for a couple more minutes. I might actually have time to get the garden hose and get some coolant through this thing. I have to be careful of the steering wheel though. How does our oil pressure gauge work? I don't think my sensor works. I might have to use the Ford one. The whole truck. Well, despite that side not having a nut on it, it holds. But God, my face is red. Oh my God. I gotta get this video up on Facebook. Oh my God. It sounds beautiful. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna see if my alternator works. Well, it's time to head her inside. I ran some water through it. Got a good little flush going on. There's obviously a few things. We gotta change that pressure sensor. I did crush the side of it when I was trying to take it off, so I think that's why it's not working. It wants to. I see it trying to work, but yeah, it's not working. I ran it for like 5-10 minutes and it's still fine. So we'll get the Ford pressure sensor and some fittings for that, because I can't find the frickin' Cummins one anywhere, and I've seen it on a 5.9 before, and I don't know what year it's for. So, but yeah, it runs. It purrs like a kitten, and you know, sitting in here, it actually really doesn't. There's a little vibration, but it's kind of a comfortable vibration, not a jarring, annoying one. So I'm not too worried about the vibration. It runs. Alternator's not charging, so I do think that my wiring might be good, but I won't know for sure until I get a new one, because the thing in here is just exploded. So we'll have to get a new alternator for it, and then that, you know, we'll be able to test our wiring. So I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I'm gonna disconnect the battery. This guy right here. And I had pretty much fresh water coming out of that thing after I ran it. Fresh paint, just repelling the water. Alright, I'm gonna get this packed up, put my diesel away, and put the hood back on, and I'm gonna go inside.